Hello everyone, welcome to the 2023 12 Days of Zentangle. My name is Molly, and we are celebrating our 22nd project pack. Today is day 9, so we have really gotten into this theme. We're digging into it. We're having lots of fun. And if today is your first day, you're tuning in, then I invite you to go back and watch the introductory video to get a little bit more information about the theme we're playing with and a little bit more information about the tools and materials. As always, we invite you to follow along with whatever materials you do have with you. And if you do not have a project pack and you want one, or you would like to buy one, you can buy them at Zentangle.com or from some certified Zentangle teachers. All right, you guys ready to go? I'm excited for these last 4 days here, and they are going to be an ensemble that we're going to be working with, so that's exciting. This project pack is inspired by the spiral, and we've gone in so many out-of-the-box sort of directions and playing with these beautiful new pre-strung 5x5 tiles. I have the last 4 tiles in your pack in front of me here. And I also have either some masking tape or washi tape or something, painter's tape, whatever, something like that we are going to use as well. If you can find something like that, washi tape works great, masking tape works great, but you might want to have that nearby. We're going to be using some of that. And then the last 4 tiles that were included in the project pack. I have to say, I thought when we went into this project pack that we would use some of the tiles and then, have these lessons around just a few of them. And I think that we went a little overboard because we got so excited about these tiles that we came up with a little bit too much content. And we decided because we love all of you so very much, we were just going to go with it. So this is a loaded project pack, lots of fun stuff. And this last series here for days 9, 10, 11, and 12 really do kind of make for a really great finale. So I'm excited to share it with you. So I'm going to be using all the pens and pencils that came in your project pack. And then, like I said, the last 4 tiles that you have, they look something like this. They're the only tiles in the pack that were duplicated. There was 4 of them. And they're these really cool strings on our amazing 5x5 tiles. And very much golden spiral influence here. And when you put the 4 tiles together, it is a very cool ensemble. And this is just one arrangement. There are a few other ways to put the tiles where they do create a very, very cool ensemble. So these are our 4 tiles. Like I said, we'll have all those tools and maybe a little bit of tape that we're going to be needing for our project. At this point, I invite you to get the rest of your space organized. Maybe adjust your body where you're sitting, get in the most comfortable position. Honor the fact that you might be sitting and drawing for a while, so you might want to adjust things. And when you're comfortable, I invite you to take a moment here to recognize our first step in the Zentangle method, and that is gratitude and appreciation. I invite you to gently close your eyes or find a focal point. And allow yourself a minute to focus on your breath. And let your mind focus on something that you're grateful for in this very moment. Perhaps it's something that brings you joy or a smile or fills your cup. Whatever it is for you that inspires you or perhaps fuels your day or your minutes. I invite you to gently open your eyes and we're going to get started. So we are going to attempt to cover this beautiful set of 4 tiles in the next 4 days. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And you can do it at any pace you want. So these videos can be paused. They can be spread out over many, many days. And I want you all to promise me that you are going to do it at your own pace. So even though we're going to deliver the videos in 4 days, they are yours to be experienced in any amount of time that you need. All right, so I need to say that out loud because it's really important for you to just do it at your own pace. So the reason that I have the masking tape is that we're going to tape multiple tiles together at a time to work on them. And so what I want you to do to begin with, just find 2 of the tiles and put them together in this sort of orientation. So that you have this beautiful sort of curve right here. And then I invite you, flip them the same way at the same time to make sure they stay together. I'm going to flip them over like so. And I'm just going to gently tape them together. It's not like you want to put it down too hard because you don't want to rip the paper later on when we take it off. It's just there to kind of keep them together. I'm using this nice little washi tape from my friends at Created with Love in Taiwan. Nice washi tape. And I just really gently put it on. And if you don't have any masking tape or washi tape, you could use a little Scotch tape or something, just as long as you don't put it down too, like you don't need to push it in there. It's like just enough to hold the 2 tiles together temporarily. So they have them like so. And I am going to be working just today with my my Micron Black 08, and then I'm going to have my pencil nearby. I might grab another pencil later, but just to get started, I'm going to be using those 2 pens. And just to get started, I am going to first I'm going to kind of connect this circle line a little bit just visually for myself at the top with my pencil. That helps me for some markers. And then right here, there's a line that comes out from the circle, and I'm just going to mark it on the other side right here. Can you guys see that? So I basically wanted to have this space here marked off for me. So it's right here and right here with my pencil. What I want to do is I'm going to kind of create these tangles that become my connectors that kind of seal these tiles together. And it's going to be pretty much the only tangle that bridges over 2 tiles. So once we create these bridging tangles here, we'll then move on to working on the tiles a little more isolated probably. So what I want to do to begin with is I'm going to create this pod shape here, and the first stroke is going to be very close, and then we'll make one a little bit further apart. So I'm starting right at that pencil line, and I'm just drawing very fine line. It's like a very narrow pod shape on either side, pretty close to the edge. Just a very, very smushed pod shape. And then I'm going to draw another one that comes out quite a bit further. Again, that meets back down at the bottom. And I'm going to do that on both sides. As you can see, I like to add a little life to my lines. They're not exactly straight. I enjoy that. And then one more very fine one to we kind of call these tethered auras, meaning they aura for the most part, but they meet back and at the same point. Then I'm going to turn my set of tiles here to the side a little bit. And I'm going to fill this larger shoot here with a series of orbs that are really smooshed in there. I'm still using my black 08 pen, and I'm going to start on one side. I'm going to fill and I'm going to do the other side as well, taking your time and breathing. And then I like to just fill those little interstices with ink. Create some drama. So we kind of have these like two paws that are kind of tethered together. So that's our first kind of linking type of thing. Now I'm going to go down to my sort of these corner points right here, and if the tiles were arranged, all four of them, this would be, I guess, the center of it. So I'm going to imagine that a little bit. And I'm going to play around with some poke leaf that grows from these corners here and kind of just supports my pods. And I'm going to continue to use my Micron 08, my black. And I want to avoid these two spirals here. I really want to work, I guess, almost like behind them. So I'm going to try to use those parameters to work behind. So I'm going to begin with my poke leaf, and poke leaf is a great little organic tangle that starts with a little stem. And once you have this cute little stem, we put this great little cap on it. And then the poke leaf shape is this sort of upside down leaf shape. And I've noticed with my students that they tend to, in the beginning, make their poke leaves quite small. So I encourage you to kind of open up a little bit and try to make them a little bigger. And this maybe doesn't pertain to all of you, but a lot of my students will start off making their poke leaves really tiny. And so I invite you to explore working maybe a little bit bigger than you normally would. So I'm really going to try to avoid these spirals and kind of fall behind them. And it is a little challenging, this particular bit, and we won't be doing too much of this, so hang in there. But we are working sort of on this crack. I promise you it'll be fun. And then I'm filling in the background parts where the poke leaves don't fall. So I'm going to kind of climb my way. Like I said, I'm going to avoid the spiral area. I'm just going to pretend like it's falling behind there. Leave that for later. And depending on how big your pods were, you might have a little more space than me or a little less. And I'm just gonna play with these poke leaves to go up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna have them go up the other side as well. Again, I'm using that string line as a strict guide. And you might have one side have gone a little higher than the other. You can play around with, you know, how far you want to do that. Maybe I'll put in one more. But I'm really kind of trying to play with the surrounding string lines, sort of watching it sort of hug around that space, kind of creating a little bit space. And you might have it go all the way up, that's fine. I'm gonna put a couple more down here. And we're gonna be doing this on all four, so I might wait to see what happens when I connect the others. All right, so now I invite you to perhaps put these two aside, and I'm going to take the two other ones, connect them just how we did before, making sure that your arcs are married up. I'm going to turn it over. And you might be asking, why didn't I connect all four of them? You can do that. You can definitely do that. Right now, I just find it easier to like work in twos because I can turn them a lot easier, but you can definitely tape all four of them together and do all four. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on these two tiles. I'm going to start with my pencil, connecting, marking off the little space here, knowing where to start and stop, and then begin with that really fine aura line to start. Again, tethering it off. Making a wider pod-like shape. So we have something like that, filling it in with the orbs, and then doing our other poke leaf. All right, so I have my second one done. I have my orbs in here and my poke leaf there. And if you're unsure of how much poke leaf to put in, you can always add more after you see what it all looks like. It's just enough to kind of, it's almost like it's holding these pods in there, right? Just enough to support it. So I have two of them done, and what I want to do now is I want to do the other two so that we have all four done. So you can figure out what works best for you. You can either attach all four of them to it, or if you're more comfortable with just the 2 and 2, you can do that as well. So it's really up to you, but we want to make sure that you can work comfortably while they're attached. So I'm going to go ahead and attach mine, and feel free to unattach the other ones, however it is works for you. I'm going to let you figure that part out. Okay, I have gone in, and hopefully you have too. You can, of course, pause the camera or pause the video in between to get all your pods and your poke leaf out. And I have mine all attached at this minute, but I did find it easier to just attach 2 at a time. But like I said, you can figure that out. So we have kind of this anchor of this really cool poke leaf and pod thing going on. And I'm just going to add one more thing before I leave you for this one particular lesson. And like I said, I think I'm going to break mine in half and make it a 2 and 2 scenario. So I'm just going to carefully remove the washi tape from, and it comes off really easily, so that's nice. If I can actually pick it up. I'm just gonna remove it from 2 sides so that I have 2 and 2. I like to work that way, but you can leave it all connected if you want. And I'm gonna put one of those aside, And I'm going to pick up my very cool, like greeny blue color, which is very, very exciting. And I'm going to ink in these beautiful orby colors, and I'm just gonna do one little quick detail, and you can always start with it, and if you don't like it, you can just fill it back in because it's optional. First of all, I don't like to fill all the way to the edge. I like leaving a thin line, but I'm also gonna leave a little like sparkle where I don't jelly roll in. It's like a little bit kind of in the same place of each one. Something like that, so you get a natural highlight. So sometimes it's easy to like kind of draw that first. It's like a little moon shape, little mulligan shape. And then these are nice 10 bold jelly rolls, so they ink in pretty good. Just turning your tile as you work. And you can kind of get in the zone, take your time, and we're gonna go and fill in all of our beautiful orbs. Again, make that little sparkle first. And we'll go later, we'll probably be doing some shading and stuff like this, but this one just kind of builds it in. So I invite you to join me, grab your jelly roll. And you know what? I'm using this blue-green color, but if you wanted to do it with the yellow or any other color you have, that's totally fine too. Okay, I have just about finished all of these. Just filling them in, leaving that little highlight. And you know what? If you accidentally filled in, the whole thing, don't worry about it. It's just a little detail, and if you don't do it on all of them, it actually still works. So I have all 4 of these pieces done. I got my poke leaf, my cool little orb ensemble here, and I think we're done for now. And we're gonna be welcoming in some really cool things in the coming days. So like I said, work at this at your own pace, enjoy the journey, and we'll get you when you're ready for the next couple of lessons. Take care. Have a good night.